Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. I am reporting live from Portugal, not Austria, as a lot of you guys guessed this morning. I am not heading out to see Eddie Howe and Newcastle. I've had this trip booked with a few mates for quite a long time now. So I am away for a long weekend, currently in Faro, heading off to Albufeira tomorrow. So that should be a good laugh. I am joining you with a beer today, and we are going to be talking about Newcastle United. Huge links coming out in the last 48 hours to Moussa Diaby once again and Marco Asensio. It appears that they are the priority signings right now. I say priority signings, I think it'll be one or the other. I don't think it will be both. But before we get into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the daily upload for Newcastle right now. Cannot wait for the friendly tomorrow. It is live on YouTube, so I will be watching and I will have a live reaction after. So be sure to check out the channel after tomorrow's game. But as I say, we will talk about Moussa Diaby, we will talk about Marco Asensio, and I generally just want to talk a little bit about Newcastle's transfer window in general. Again, we've gone out and we've done the sensible things first. We brought in the goalie, the centre-back, we signed Target, which was a very sensible signing. Now we need that flair, now we need that cutting edge, and generally, we're having trouble. We are having a bit of trouble. I mean, generally what happens is teams go off on pre-season training and everything does slow down a little bit. Obviously, Eddie Howe is out there. He's got his priorities. That's double training sessions. That's getting the lads to bond. That's getting into the pre-season friendlies ahead of the new season. That's why we brought in Dan Ashworth. He's the man behind the scenes right now, trying to connect some of these dots. Again, what we're hearing at the moment is we need, and we know this, we need a winger, we need a striker, and there is also quite a little bit of noise around the midfielder now. Obviously, Paquetá is the one that everybody's interested in, and generally Eddie Howe said before the summer even started that he wanted more attacking options. And yes, we need a striker, we need a winger, but it sounds like we're also in the market for a midfielder as well. Now, that's when it gets a little bit more complicated, because as much as we have Saudi owners, a lot of money available, there's FFP. People are coming out and going, let's just spend what we want. Let's just do it. We are trying to be sensible about it. And I do actually like that, because again, we're trying to be sensible on wages as well. Back when we were linked with Jesse Lingard, we went no. Even though he was free, we said no, because it was 150 grand a week. That was 50% higher than our top highest paid player, and it was sensible to say no to that. And again, we are going in for players, we're hearing ridiculous sums of money and we're saying no to them. That's why it just seems to be quite a lot of, we're trying to get our ducks in order basically before we start splashing the cash. I 100% believe that we will bring players in before this window ends. I think we will bring in at least a winger and a striker. The problem is we can't go and spend 60, 70, 80 million on Diaby and then have nothing to spend on a striker. We're trying to basically line everything up. I think Diaby is priority. We've spoken about Diaby quite a lot. His numbers are absolutely insane. In 32 games in the Bundesliga, he got 13 goals, 12 assists. That's almost a goal contribution a game. It's mad. He's 22 years old. He's so young. Even at 60 million, that could go up to 70, 80, 90. If he comes and does that in the Premier League, it could double, to be honest. The Bundesliga is a good league, but it's not the Premier League. If he can come over and do that at the age of 22, his value will skyrocket. So it's not even, do we pay 60 million at this point? It's will Bayer Leverkusen let us have him, because they don't want to sell him full stop. Now, every player has their price at the end of the day, and I do think we could get him. It's just how long do we hold off? That's why we're also being linked with Asensio. We're also being linked with Jack Harrison. We're being linked with Saul. I think Asensio, in the last 24 hours, there's new links coming through. Newcastle are preparing a bid for around 23 million, which is almost a third of what we would have to pay for Diaby. Again, that's the thing. Do we hold out until deadline day to get Diaby? Or do we just cut it now and just get Asensio now? You'll join up with the lads on pre-season. You'll get a good 2-3 weeks in before the season starts. Because again, we're trying to get our ducks in a row. this brings us onto the strikers a little bit, because we were linked with Isaac just the other day. That link lasted about 24 hours because effectively Newcastle went in, declared interest, asked how much he cost, and they went 67 million, and we went, oh, right, okay. we might take a step back from that one, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, he is also young. He didn't get too many goals last season, but generally he's an up-and-coming player. And sometimes people are quite quick to judge young players on how did they do last season. The potential's clearly there, and that's why they know they can put such a huge price tag on him. But again, for a Newcastle side who's trying to be careful with the FFP, we can't buy Diaby for 70 and Isaac for 70. We're looking at, again, we went in for Calvert-Lewin, who I think's maybe worth 20, 25 million. Again, he's not my priority player, but we went, okay, how much would he cost? They came back 40 million, 45 million. All right, we better go and look somewhere else. We took interest in Brozier, the Chelsea man who was on loan at Southampton. Reportedly had been left off the Chelsea tour and was available to buy this summer. Chelsea have changed their mind and took him on tour with them after all. So this is kind of where we are, because that's again the thing. If we, for example, manage to knock Leverkusen down and go, look, we're going to go for it, we're going to spend 70 million on Diaby, we don't have another 40 million to buy another striker. It's almost like a catch-22, because we want to get the deals going, but until we know what we're going to do next, we can't take the first step. It's almost like we need to line up, right, there's the winger, there's the striker, there's the midfielder, that's what we're going to do. And that's the thing, do a go Asensio now just to get something done, and then we've got enough time and enough money left over to then look at the striker, then look at the midfielder. Again, would you go Asensio, striker, and then have a bit of money left over for Paquetá? I mean, Paqueta's the big one. He's the romantic story that everyone wants to see. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's Arsenal who appear to be leading the way for him. Lyon have come out and apparently, well, the Paquetá one's a funny one, because I'd heard a while ago that he had a release clause of around 58 million. It's now coming out that Lyon want as much as 70 million, but would be willing to drop to 55 million. So I'm guessing he doesn't have a 58 release clause then, because what's the point of buying him for 55 million when you can just spend an extra 3 and get him straight away? But that's effectively what's happening right now. And again, if we go back to FFP, you might turn around to me and go, but Rob, Mike Ashley spent nothing. FFP goes over about 3 years. You could turn around and go, but Rob, Mike Ashley spent nothing over the last 3 years. And you're right. And we do actually have possibly a lot more to spend than we will probably spend this summer. But what it does is means we can't spend in January. Or we can spend very little in January. We could spend very little next summer. And that's the thing, we want to strengthen now, but come next summer, when Dummett's contract ends, Richie's contract ends, and we've got 2 or 3 other players leaving, we need to fill those spots next summer as well. So it's all well and good to go big and bold now. We need to take the steps carefully. Again, by next summer, we could have a whole new all singing, all dancing sponsor that brings in an extra 100 million spend. And all of a sudden, FFP doesn't look that bad. But if we hedged all of our bets on that now and then got to next season and then didn't have the sponsor money we thought we were going to get because the Premier League challenged it or whatever goes on, you never know at the moment, all of a sudden we're in trouble, because we've overspent, and that's not what the new owners are doing. They're being very sensible about everything. So again, Diaby's the one for me. I think he is the priority target for Newcastle. I think if we, for example, could work out a striker deal with Zapata, I don't know, someone like that, again, 10, 15 million, Brozier, loan deal, or even Brozier, 15, 20 million, or a loan deal ideally, because that costs us nothing. I think if we could line that up, I think we would be going hell for leather on a Diaby. I just think they don't want to overspend on one player and then realise they can't afford anyone else. And that's why I think the Marco Asensio one is popping up again, because I just think that they're starting to try and get all three pieces together. That much for a striker, that much for a midfielder, that much for a winger. Would you not take Paquetá if it means we secure Diaby and a paid striker, someone who could potentially challenge Wilson? Because at the moment, a lot of the strikers we're being linked with, for me, are second choice behind Wilson. Because again, we're trying to try and save a bit of money there to spend more in the midfield and the wing. So yeah, it's all very up and down at the moment. Again, it doesn't help that Eddie Howe and the lads are away. It doesn't help that every team are trying to buy off or also on a tour as well. That's just the way things work right now. And again, the season starts in 3 weeks. Yes, the window goes on longer, but the actual Premier League has not got long to go. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. But again, the big news coming out is that we are chasing Diaby. And in the last 24 hours, more big links coming out between Newcastle and Asensio. So let me know your thoughts on both players. Again, for me, Diaby's priority. But we can't chase Diaby all window. Leverkusen have already said they don't want to sell him. So are we going to continue to chase it, or is that why the Asensio links are hotting up? Because we're just going to go for him. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts on the summer window in general. Let me know your thoughts on the players we mentioned in this video. Have a great day. If you have enjoyed this video, then why not click here? I did a video yesterday talking about the renovation inside St. James's Park, which is now complete. Loads of new songs on the wall, posters on the wall. It looks fantastic, so be sure to give it a watch. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.